Dude, welcome back to Hang Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, and we've got another great episode for you today on the Dudes and Sports podcast. Hopefully the main man from way out west can officially join us. There he is. Welcome to the show. Our most charismatic character there. Go figure, Duke Blue Devils fan. Unbelievable. Main man from way out west, how is your day going today, sir?
Oh, just absolutely wonderfully fantastic. Duke's in the Final Four. Our first since college basketball guy.
I was going to say 2022.
Duke, yeah.
2022?
Yeah, 2022, right? Against,
Who was on that team? Is that Roach's freshman year?
That was Paulo's, yeah.
Well, that was a good team too. But yep, so we got the Duke Blue Devils. They're in the Final Four. They're facing Houston coming up next Saturday, so we'll talk about that. And I think national championships on Monday, right? So we'll go live right before the national.
Yeah.
So we'll come at you with yet another Duke win next week. Mets 1-2 to start the season, pretty good. Masters is coming up. We got some good things. UFC, we could talk about some UFC. Good fight down in Mexico. Joe Pfeiffer's a clown. We'll see if Nick Howard gets on. We were talking some UFC and some combat sports this weekend. And Cooper flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Duke. Hello, folks.
Yeah, they're great. We all know that now. K-Stel, how are you doing today, sir?
He's so bad.
Doing fine. Baseball is back. Torpedo bats. What's going on, Yankees? They're doing some stuff. But, it's whatever they do is fine. If any other team does it, it's not fine. It was a solid week of baseball. A lot of different stuff going on. There's not really narratives to get into because it's only the first 3 games. I went to a game. MJ Melendez is still on my team. I'll tell you what, March Madness this year has been awesome. I have enjoyed it a lot. Just because of the play-wise. I know a lot of guys are, upset that there's no Cinderella teams. I honestly don't dig them, to be fair with you, because no Cinderella team ever, except for George Mason and maybe Loyola Chicago. We can maybe count North Carolina State, but at the end of the day, they were never going to win anything because that UConn team was good. I do like Chalks in the Final Four. Just makes for a better show. It's better basketball. I thought the games have been tight, closer than normal. But other than that, decent college basketball. I don't know much else I got worrying me. I know KU basketball is having some transfer issues, but I think that's a bit more over exaggerated than it needs to be. It's just the way it goes. Sporting KC, fire Peter Vermees! Fire Peter Vermees! We don't even talk about MLS, but I'm bringing it up now. Fire Peter Vermees right now. Right now. It's awful.
Yeah, that's great insight there by K-Stel yelling at the camera screen like he knows what he's talking about with the MLS. Such a professional there. Sportsmanship Award winner right there as well, so congratulations on him. We got a quick little NFL update, any kind of off-season stuff you guys want to kind of go over, Jets stuff maybe a little bit. I know we're getting a little closer to the draft. I know it's quite not here yet.
We have a couple wide receivers.
But yeah, we just get a little, quick little NFL update from the fellas on how the teams are going. There's Howard here.
Whoa!
Making his appearance, as always. He's here. He is alive and well. The Cardinals fan, Liverpool fan, Nick Howard, sir, is back in live. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. It's been a bit busy of a day. I've watched a little bit that has been going on today, but for the most part, I've been kind of doing other stuff. Just kind of real-world stuff, I guess, away from sports, but getting into sports. I've watched a lot of the tournament and stuff going on, so I'm excited to kind of get down to some stuff.
Yeah, we'll get here to the tournament here in just a second. If any of the guys got any NFL updates that they kind of want to cover, I know it's kind of the dead season before the draft. And I'm sure we'll do a full breakdown of the draft up here in the upcoming weeks before the draft actually happens. But just any of you guys got any quick updates about your team specifically or anything that has been interesting in the offseason that we haven't updated so far?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge trade. Yeah, that was a huge pickup for
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, the Patriots. Yeah, that'll be interesting there to see him with as long as he doesn't have injury.
Passing guy.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works out there with Drake May. He'll definitely get the touches. Can he stay healthy? That's obviously the big question there. But the Pats now got their new number 1 wide receiver, so that's good for them.
Jets signed Derek Nottie.
Congrats.
Yeah, former Chief. Yeah,
Good
He's
player.
Good
Run
interior.
stopper.
Titans
Yeah.
signed Tim Boyle.
Whoever
Jets
that
legend.
is.
Abdul Carter, number 1 pick. Tim
Yeah,
Boyle's
he's coming
coming.
now.
Callahan likes him. Callahan liked what he saw from him.
I think the Chiefs just re-signed Pennell and they re-signed O'Menahue. That's about it. They re-signed O'Menahue on Thursday, and I think Mike Pennell on Wednesday. Nothing too major, just some depth pieces. I know Charles may not be a depth piece to most people, but to me, he is. He's a third get down guy, in my opinion, or a run guy. I don't know. He long arms, cries in the Super Bowl. That's about it.
You know, there's probably a lot of Jet players that would cry in the Super Bowl.
Probably.
Never know.
Can only be hypotheticals.
Yeah, so obviously this is kind of a little bit
He's
of the dead
the kind
season.
of guy that would cry in the Super Bowl. I want my scouts banging their hand on the table for that.
Yeah, so obviously the NFL dry season a little bit going on here. The draft is April 24th, so probably coming up here in the next week or so, probably 2 weeks from now, we'll do a full mock draft with all the fellas. We can get this going, especially
We gonna
in
go live
college.
again? We went live last time, right?
We probably can. Yeah, we can probably go live for the first round again this year. That works out well for us. So we can have that happen, and then we can do a full mock draft breakdown for the dudes. Maybe first 10 picks, and then we can go through some of our what our teams we think we're going to pick here in the upcoming
Don't worry,
weeks.
Howard and my team are in the top 10.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, we haven't been in the top 10 in a while now, but I mean, I guess you kind of want to be on the receiving end. You would rather be on the backwards end from that. So,
We gotta be We gotta be the best in something.
Yeah, 100%. So let's move. Since we had no real NFL updates, let's move on to what's been currently going on, and that is your college NCAA tournament. The Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 will happen. We'll let P4 do his Duke rant first. Let me go through all these games here first, and then we can kind of break down where we want to go. The first game, we'll start off here up in the South. Okay, Auburn handled Michigan pretty easily. Auburn, like everybody coming into the tournament was like, oh, Auburn's lost 3 of their last 4. They're going to really struggle. They're going to, they might get upset at somewhere, and they've looked like the dominant team. Danny Wolf played really well for Michigan, but Auburn just unbelievably has so many weapons. Johnny Broome, I mean, I don't know who's going to win National Player of the Year, honestly. I don't know if it's going to be Cooper or if it's going to be Broome. It's going to be either one of them. I mean, you can't deny, as much Cooper is great, Johnny Broome has done just as well as for his team as Cooper has done. Like, I'm not saying Auburn would be
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head, yeah, but still. That's not. It's just because they beat them head-to-head one game
DeJuan Harris is better than Tyrese Proctor.
in Cameron Indoor, in the second hardest place to play in college basketball behind Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah,
That's true.
most years. But yeah, that you can't take that stat if it's not a neutral. It's a home court advantage to the maximum. It's ridiculous. They don't lose there. So that stat doesn't count. Johnny Broome is still averaging. Let me get this stat here real quick. 18 and a half points a game, 10 rebounds, shooting 50% from the floor. So obviously really good. But they manhandled Michigan in this one. Michigan obviously had Danny Wolf at 20. They really needed Vlad Golden to shoot a little bit better than he did. But Auburn still has Chad Baker-Mazara, and actually it was Denver Jones in this game that it went off. He had 20 points, 4 for 7 from 3. Good win there for Auburn to move themselves into the Elite Eight. And on the other side of the bracket, we had Michigan State defeat Ole Miss in a pretty, really, honestly, a competitive game. Shout out to Chris Beard and Ole Miss. Padula is actually a really great player. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Beard. and everything like that. But I don't think Beard's leaving now, especially after a lot of those big jobs already being taken up and filled. Villanova just got filled by the Maryland coach, and Indiana's filled already, so he probably will stay another
I
year.
think
But
Dia off that team is also an NBA
yeah,
player.
Malik
Dia
Dia
looks
is
good.
really, really good too. So Sean Padula is obviously very, very good. But it was the Jace Richardson show for Michigan State and Tom Izzo. He was obviously their best player throughout the entire year. Really came as to be their front runner player halfway through the season as a freshman. And he just was phenomenal in this game, going 4 from 6 from deep with 20 points individually. And then the Elite Eight game. If we kind of mentioned the Elite Eight games weren't that great. Auburn just dominated Michigan pretty much from first quarter on. Johnny Brim had 25 points. And, didn't really need any help from anybody else. I mean, Todd Pettiford had 10, which he's a great player. But that's what's cool about Auburn is they have so many players that can be really, really good. Jace Richardson didn't play well, which really hurt Michigan. If he would have played well, they could have had a chance. Didn't. Auburn is your first Final Four team. Any of the comments from the dudes on Auburn specifically or any of those matchups here in the South region?
Depth goes a long way, and there was like multiple. Even Dylan Cardwell, I think. I don't know if it was his past game, but I think in the Michigan game he didn't do too hot. At least offensively, he was still making some screens and stuff. But yeah, like when one guy can't really produce and stuff that they got in their starting lineup, it's like another guy off the bench just going crazy. They're a pretty solid team. All these one seeds are pretty
Auburn.
solid.
Yeah, Auburn has great depth with him with Todd Pettiford. Denver Jones was the one that we mentioned that he's not their guy. He's not their number one guy normally, but has that bench depth to be able to really go off for them. He did really help them against Michigan. So, yeah, Auburn's going to be really tough. Let's go move down to the West. Well, we'll finish with the East bracket, so P4 can go on his rant for the Duke Blue Devils last. But in our West, I felt like this was the best bracket, like the hardest competition, where we should get the best matchups. And the Elite Eight, for one side of it, was very disappointing. Maryland just could not handle Walter Clayton Jr. in Florida. They couldn't rebound the ball to save their life. Like, Florida had so many rebounds in this game. It was unbelievable, especially offensive rebound for second chance points. I mean, they ended up winning 87-71. Will Richard went off, and they just shot the ball so well. They had Condon, who's like a really great player, and did get hurt throughout the first half or whatever, but came back into the game, which was a huge contribution to the team. But they kind of all had it, and then this is kind of the same thing we felt with Maryland in their round of 32 matchup. When they almost lost to Colorado State, is they didn't have the outside presence. The shooters, the same thing kind of happened. So Julian Reese didn't really show up, and they really struggled. So Florida moved on easily. And then the great game of the Texas Tech Arkansas. Texas is coming back from behind after not shooting the ball well at all. They ended up coming back and winning in overtime. Great showing there from JT Toppin and Darion Williams. Also was a huge contribution to this Texas Tech. Come from behind. They were down 16. Shout out Nick Fulton for texting me in the middle of that where they're up 16, already bragging, and then they blew it like a Calipari team normally does. So there you go. This is what you got to look forward to. Razorbacks is Calipari frustration. But hey, at least you're not the Kansas Jayhawks and Bill Self right now. You guys did better than us. So we move on to the Final Four matchup. Elite Eight matchup. And I honestly think this was probably the best Elite Eight game of them all. Florida and Texas Tech kind of went back and forth, and then Walter Clayton Jr. definitely took over in the final moments. He scored 30, 7 from 14 from the field for him, and he also went 3 from 8 from 3, but he just played insane. And JT Toppin, shouts out to JT Toppin and Darion Williams of Texas Tech. This was my dark horse team. Honestly, I thought that maybe be able to beat Florida. It just didn't have enough at the end. Didn't have enough tank in the gas, as you want to say. So Florida had the shooting, and the shooting you saw when they were down 9, I think, with 3 minutes left. They hit 3 3-pointers in a row to tie the game. So good on Florida to move on to the Final Four. Any of the dudes got any comments on Florida, Texas Tech, or Maryland themselves?
Florida is ridiculous. They are ridiculous. And I don't think we should slide under the rug the performance that Texas Tech had in 3 minutes at the end of the game. That wasn't good, but it also doesn't happen without Florida being ridiculously good at basketball. What
Yeah, they can shoot the
they
ball
did at the end of the
lights out.
game was just stupid. You can't do that unless your team has some sort of magic that is only given to you by the basketball gods. And that's just kind of what happened. Texas Tech had that game in a keepsafe.
If they would have played defense for the last 3 minutes, they would have won.
And they're a good defensive team. It's not like they're coming out of a conference that doesn't play any defense. They were what, number 4 in the conference? 3 or 4 in the conference
3.
overall. But still, they are a good defensive team, and they still allowed Florida to come back. Florida is doing this comeback thing now where it really is exciting to see. And I would not be upset if they won the national tournament, especially Golden, doing his thing. He's not by any means, Dan Hurley balls and strikes guy. Because we saw what happened there. It was just the dudes that he got from the NIL money. He got a ton of dudes. And now his team is just fantastic. And it should be a great game against Auburn. I expect Florida to beat Auburn. Even though Auburn has looked fantastic, this Florida team is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is the best the SEC will probably ever be, in my opinion, just because of the sheer talent and NBA prospects coming out of this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's obviously great. Walter Clayton Jr. was at Iona with Pitino while they made it to the tournament, and then he transferred to Florida and now is a primetime stud. You can defend that guy. You can be the best defense on him. He's going to make the shot. He's got a good chance of it going in. Will Richards really good. Elijah Martin, that trio there. And then don't forget about Condon. He's their lob threat, big man. And then Chiluwu on the inside, honestly, can be a huge threat as well. That team is loaded and deep.
Howe is so good too.
Yeah,
man.
and How's right
Howe
up.
is so crazy.
Yeah, he was really big for them against Texas Tech. He's that bench piece that everybody needs for a championship winning team. He is that piece for them. Good win on Florida. They're gonna verse Auburn. We'll do predictions here after we finish this up real quick. But let's head over to the Midwest here. Let's start at the very top of the bracket where Houston escaped Purdue. Braden Smith, what are you doing? Guard the inbounder. Like, come on, man. Like, that's like kindergarten stuff. Like, where are you trying to guard? Like, you're being pulled out from underneath the basket. Give it a nice play by Kelvin Sampson, by the way. It's a great draw up, but Braden Smith, biggest goof of his career, just costed him his season. They escape. Houston's, a good team. Their defense is always going to be the Stanford. But Milos Uzan honestly took over the game on the offensive end. He is very, very good. LJ did not play well, but LJ, if he gets hot, they're going to be really tough to beat, especially if their defense is playing this way. And good win on them. And then we had the classic Kentucky-Tennessee third matchup. Kentucky had beaten them twice in the regular season. Not the case in the tournament. Pretty convincing win for Tennessee over Kentucky. 78-65. Zakai Ziegler was actually the leading scorer on Tennessee. Chaz Lanier did not play that well. It's just how it is sometimes. You usually think that Lanier still ended up having 17, but he was 7 for 16 and 1 for 6 from 3. So, I mean, I've always been down on Tennessee, but I thought, if Chaz Lanier didn't play well, they wouldn't be very good. He didn't play well. They still beat Kentucky, even though they got swept twice by him. Good on Rick Barnes. And then we had Houston play Tennessee, and again, we had kind of another blowout. LJ Cryer ended up with 17 for Houston. And then he had Emmanuel Sharp with 16 as well. Milos Uzan didn't play that well. But yeah, just a great defensive performance. And then, of course, Chaz Lanier actually plays like trash again. He went 4 for 18 from the field, 2 from 12 from 3, and nobody else helped him. Jordan Gainey had 17, which was nice, but that's not enough to beat a Houston Cougars team with really good defense. So the Houston Cougars move on to the Final Four, and the dudes got thoughts on Houston, Purdue, or Tennessee.
I like a trend, since we're talking about all these 1 seeds and it's going to lead up to the final one we're about to talk about, obviously. all these one seeds just seem so balanced. Like you can't have like that's Tennessee's like next man up. They'll go and have at least one guy do somewhat okay. And that's how you kind of go, and that's how Tennessee will beat you because they got good defense. But with Houston and even like Auburn and who we just talked about before, I don't know why it's just slipping the top of my head. Florida, yeah, with all their players too and Golden, like all these teams are so balanced, and like there's not a single position, like point guard through center that you can say, oh yeah, that team doesn't really have a good. Like all these teams, even like the depth off the bench. Like, sure, you can say that this player is better than that, but these are good players that are in the Final Four. And I think Houston is, like, a huge embodiment of this. Because, yeah, like, Uzan has been huge for them, and LJ Cryer is a guy that usually they've leaned on the past couple of seasons. But, like, this year they just seem like everyone hustles so much. Even, like, Mercy Miller on the team, like, off the bench, goes and makes crazy blocks. Like, these teams are so crazy. And I just, like, going into the Final Four with a team like Houston being like still in trouble of losing the national championship or not even getting there is crazy. And
Could I say
Yes,
something? Could I say
very
something
balanced.
real quick?
No.
I have a
Cut 'em
list
off.
of top 10 Ken Palm teams of all time. Here's what they are. Number 1 is 98 99 Duke. Number 2, this year's Duke team. Number 3, 2000-2001 Duke. Number 4, 14-15 Kentucky. 5, 2021 Gonzaga. Number 6, this year's Houston team. 7, last year's UConn team. 8, this year's Florida team. 9, 07-08 Kansas team. And number 10, this year's Auburn team. That's crazy.
Great
And I think 2 of those teams did not end up winning the national championship in Gonzaga and Kentucky. Gonzaga made it to the championship round. Kentucky did not, I believe. In 15, I believe Duke won that year.
Yeah, 15
Wisconsin,
and also
Frank
Wisconsin.
Kaminsky.
Yeah, Sam Decker, yeah.
4 teams. This is the
You want
4.
to go Badger for Badger right now, PC? Is that what you're...
What's
I just
crazy
remember that
about
game vividly.
and that's why I wanted to, when Nick brought that up, it's just crazy how good this is going to be some of the best Final Four ball we've seen. Truly. And I think the most complete team, like just by, and I know I just looked at the Kim Palm. Duke does look like the best team overall, in my opinion, just based off of how their defense is playing and how their offense is playing and how the roles of each of their players are, performing. Last game, they didn't even play that fantastic, but they did enough defensively to stop a really good offensive Alabama team.
shots.
Huge,
If they
which we'll get to
played
that.
like crap.
But they both played
Duke's
like
just
crap.
bigger.
And
They're
they're
just
bigger. I do
That's
think
what
that
it
this
is.
Houston team is probably the only team to beat Duke because they are good defensively. And I think good defensive teams do give Duke trouble, personally, because Duke is, of course, like many other good teams, relying on their offense. Their offense isn't that high-powered to overcome a Houston team. And it's not like, and we saw it today. 2 great defenses went out and played each other. It just so happened to be that the team who played the really good defense was able to make the shots when they mattered most. That's what this Houston team has been doing all year. They haven't scored a lot of points, but every time a team was going to be like, you know what, we're going to come in and we're going to beat you, they go, we're just going to make the shots. I saw them win a game. They were down by 6 with 18 seconds left in one of the most hardest places to win a basketball game. They won the game. This Houston team could easily beat this Duke team, and not without a blink of an eye. In fact, I have them beating Duke just because of that reason. Now, if Duke wins, I won't be shocked because Cooper Flagg is really good, Proctor's really good, Concanuple's playing really good ball, and their center, I forgot his name, is just he's just everywhere,
Ridiculous.
and he's just so big and tall, and he does everything well. You cannot score underneath. I think that Florida has probably the best potential to win because of their devil magic they have and just their roster regardless. I think Auburn mentally is probably one of the most sound team out there because of how old they are. They're like old 23. They should be in this position. They're all old as can be. They should probably have wives and children right now. I think a couple of them maybe do. So, this is the Final Four where we've been dreaming of. I was telling them earlier, if we don't have any Cinderella teams, so what? Who cares? They've never won a championship anyways. What was it? UNLV? Was that the last Cinderella team?
Butler.
George Mason.
Butler? But what was Butler ranked in the middle of the season? Did they win a championship?
They were like...
Yeah, they were.
Shot.
Did
were
they
like,
win?
They were like, yeah.
Did they
beat-
win? They didn't win. They lost to
Yeah, they
Duke. They lost
sure,
twice
but
in
I
a
mean, I
row.
don't know.
They've never won a championship until UNLV. We got close with George Mason. We got close with Loyola Chicago. And then you could maybe say North Carolina State. But that was a garbage year of basketball, and UConn was the best team out there. No one was beating
I mean,
UConn.
it is nice to have Cinderellas, but I think
True.
the quality of basketball has been good enough to like.
It has never once mattered
it has
about
not mattered.
about what the ranking is. St. Peter's wasn't. Does anyone even talk about St. Peter's anymore? I think I hear more about George Mason, which is okay, than I do St. Peter's. St. Peter's beat one of the best 2 seeds I've ever seen, ever, in that Kentucky 2 seed with Oscar Tshiebwe, and they made it to the Elite Eight and lost to a fiery, North Carolina team who took out Coach K in his last season with Paulo. So this idea that, and I think I'm just frustrated because a lot of people are just like, it's going to be chalk for a lot of years. It's going to be chalk forever. Good. I'm glad. Do you watch the NFL playoffs and go, man, I hope the Cleveland Browns can do it? No. No one cares. If the Cleveland Browns were a number 2 seed, then yeah, maybe I'd care. If the Chiefs were the last seed, and they played like shit the whole season, no one would really care. If the Jets were
we talk about the Giants still with being the last seed, beating the top seed. Everyone cares about against Cinderella. So I mean,
No,
Also,
I know.
think about
yes.
the league
I think they're
size.
getting
Yes.
a little.
32 to 360.
You're getting a
teams.
little
Yeah,
off course,
but-
I think, from where you're trying to go. Yeah,
But what I'm
you're
trying.
just going into
But
a
if
rant
I
about
do it
Cinderella
every
teams.
podcast,
But
then
what-
I'm picking on.
But what I'm trying to say is that I don't mind the 16-1 seeds upset. I don't. Well, this year would have been a travesty because then we wouldn't have this. But the 15s, the 14s, the 15s, they don't matter. They do matter for that first weekend because that's the weekend that everyone watches. Truly, it's when they make it to, like last year. Listen, the North Carolina State, congrats. It was awesome. But we all knew that if they ended up beating that San Diego team, it was not going to happen against UConn at all. In fact, it would have been the worst rated game in NCAA championship history. So that's where it's going to get frustrating, especially when they open up the bracket more and they go to 96 teams. And
Are
the
you shitting me?
They're not going to go that high. They may go to 70 or 60, something like that, but not 90 teams.
I'm sure that it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Especially with NIL and how it is now, it's more likely that the
Yeah,
ACC,
but-
SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12 all go away from NCAA themselves and make
Well,
their own league than it is for them to go that many teams.
Listen, that's just not how it will work. I know this because that's just not where this is America. Money is coming from somewhere, and after all of those St. Francis teams leave because those private schools don't have enough alumni to pay for stuff, they're going to go, wait a second, we need schools. Because there's only a plateau that you can hit with Alabama's, Florida's, Duke's, Carolinas. They can't just keep paying and paying and paying and paying.
Why not?
Because there's not enough money.
That's why the guy at
So-
Kentucky got offered $25 million to go play at Louisville next year.
Even then, there is going to be a plateau where Kentucky fans are going to go, I'm not going to pay that much. These people are going to come out and go, listen,
No.
the money's coming from somewhere. It's going to come.
So
So where is it
Dodgers don't
coming
just
from?
pay as many people.
Tariffs.
Stop. That is a completely different situation. This money is coming from alumni. Alumni have been...
want to pay for their team to be good. It doesn't matter if you've got
Stop.
billionaires of Tyson
Stop.
and Arkansas are going to
Stop.
pay people as much as they
Stop.
want.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Your arguments don't make any sense.
No, listen. If the NCAA has a smaller amount of teams, they will lose money. At the end of the day, they will lose money. Because the NCAA, football, baseball, basketball, every sport is made up of a conglomerate of smaller schools in the middle. So those smaller schools have to be funded or they have to be subbed in by someone else. Some other school has to come in and sub in. And those schools, like those private schools who don't want to pay a ton of money as alumni to fund their basketball programs, will be gone. That's why they're going D3. So schools who are smaller in the Big West and all those other schools are going to come in and feed that program. They're going to come in. The ACC is going to lose everybody to the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12. And what's the ACC going to do? Nothing? They can't just have a big fat conglomeration of conferences. That's not how college sports have worked. It's never going to work like that.
Yeah, but
these people are businessmen. They're businessmen. They're businessmen.
And women.
They need more product. The more product they have, they get it. The more schools they lose, they have to replace with other schools. That's it. It's going to be that way no matter what people think. The money is there. Would you rather have less money or more money? I'm going to get all this money from all these schools in North Carolina. But why couldn't I just ask an Emporia State to come in and say, guys, listen, if we give you a couple more bucks and your alumni come in, you could be a part of the Missouri Valley Conference. And frickin' we're going to have Pitt State and Central Missouri in the Missouri Valley Conference. I just saw it with SEMO. A bunch of teams left this conference. Here comes SEMO. Where did they come from? They were playing Central Missouri a couple years ago. And now they're playing a bunch of schools in SLU. It's going to happen.
Well, so you can unmute your podcast by now. Kyle's rant is officially over about NCAA rules.
It's not
and
going to
everything
be
in that.
a big fat conglomeration.
Congrats to Houston.
Congrats to Houston. So since we went from here to way over here, and now we're kind of bringing it back in.
This
after
rant this rant will go on forever and ever and ever.
on business Instagrams. That was the most
business.
insane rant, dude. That was way too much finance talk for sports talk.
Houston's gonna be fine. Who gives a crap about any of that other situation? Let's move on to our last part of this bracket, and maybe we'll get out of here within like an hour and a half, unless Kyle Stelting needs to go on another 45-minute rant about the business of. Oh, now he mutes himself like a little kid. Wow, unbelievable. So the East.
That's what you do every time you stop talking.
Yeah, you're right. I want to mute myself because you could hear the stuff in the background, so I don't want it to go through the podcast. He's just being a baby.
I'm being a baby.
The East bracket here with the Sweet 16. Duke, Arizona. Duke obviously played really well. Okay, 100 points on Arizona. Arizona actually didn't play well. Caleb Love did everything he could to try and end Cooper Flagg's Duke career. Didn't have any support anywhere else. Caleb Love had 35. Coop had 30. They played really well. I mean, when you kind of knew this was kind of heading in that direction, when he hit the was it this game or was it the Elite Eight that he hit at the final seconds of the first half where to go up by like 6 or 7. I think it was this game. I'm pretty sure that they went up. He hit up a buzzer beater in the first half. You kind of knew he was on fire.
Get
all
ready to
game.
learn Chinese, buddy.
So Caleb Love's career is officially over.
He's a dog.
Greatest
That's a
stat
competitive
patter
man.
in North Carolina history.
Yeah, so they ended up beating them there. And then in our offensive showcase, that didn't show up to an offensive showcase
He was afraid
for
of
one
them all
team.
these years. He's finally glad.
Alabama went up, beat 113 to 88 on BYU. Mark Sears hit 10 threes. Alabama shot 51 three-pointers in the entire game. They ended up going 25 for 51. Sorry, you're not beating the team that makes 25 threes. No matter how good of your defense is, they put up 113. And then you think, oh, maybe we're going to get another great offensive showing. No, we didn't. We got a terrible offensive showing from Alabama. Cooper Flagg and company kind of handled it from front to back.
They hit some really good shots. I mean, Duke's.
They shot 8 from 32 from the three-pointer for 25%, and then 35% from the floor in general. That's not good shooting.
Yeah, but how many of those are contested? I mean, if Duke's in your face, that doesn't necessarily mean you had a bad offensive night. The other team had a good defensive night.
Yeah, they were just bigger. Like, you can tell.
Couldn't get inside. They hit a lot of big threes. I mean, the game was closer than the score.
Maluak looked like literally an NBA player volunteered to be in the March Madness tournament.
Dude,
he just literally looked like a man. He was just, I mean, deflecting stuff, boxing out. He was just a huge body, and that's how I just knew. I was like, all right, this Alabama team, for Duke's case, I was like, this Alabama team ain't got a chance.
I mean, you get Malawak in foul trouble. Like, I'd love to imagine the opposing head coach in the huddle, like, talking to Duke or about Duke or, like, pregame. They're like, hey, we got to get inside. We got to get their big man in foul trouble early. Fucking Malawak, 2 or quick fouls or something. Boom, who comes in? A guy who's maybe even fucking bigger. He's not as tall, but Patrick's wide cat. I mean, he's out there, and he's a big shot blocker, big physical presence. Down low, and then obviously the wing guys too. But this game was a lot closer than the final score implied. Alabama hit a lot of big threes. Shire's squad, I mean, just looked very nice, very nice.
Yeah, Duke, obviously looked really, really good. It is what it is.
No, it's more than that. They're fantastic. They're so good. What were they, Kyle, in Ken Palm? 3rd all time.
Maybe. Oh no, second. No, they're second.
Talking about statistics.
Yeah, I mean the eye test as well. I mean the.
It is the eye test. It is.
I mean, all 4 of these teams are ridiculous. That's like all these teams are balanced. That's why I said like
they're really good.
No clue.
100%.
What was the last time all 1 seeds made the Final Four?
2008.
Oh, was that the Kansas year? That was a pretty good year of basketball. It was a pretty good
Memphis was crazy that year, too, and Kansas beat them.
Purdue was a good squad that Houston beat. Tennessee. I don't know, man. They look real good. They're in a good spot right now, and I hope that they can beat
every team is going in without any like, hey, but like, could we do better at this? Maybe Florida, maybe. Like, hey, let's not be down 11 with 3 minutes to go.
They dominated rebounds.
Are we going to rank our top 4 of the Final 4? Rank them 1 through 4. Host.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, that's so silly.
No, actually, I don't know. I don't know who I'm putting at 1.
I think
I got it.
I know.
I'm going Duke, Houston, Auburn, Florida.
I think I'm going to go from the bottom up. I'm going to go and listen. This is going to be dumb, but I don't care.
You see how long it took me to do mine? Mine was already over.
I have Auburn at 4.
Never mind, it's a bad idea.
I'm thinking of every team in their ceiling and where they hit.
Okay, just go ahead.
I got Auburn at 4. I got Houston at 3. Duke at 2. Florida 1.
You just said Florida's the one that has stuff to work on.
Bro, but if Florida... Hold on, wait. Stop. I explained before this, I said ceiling-wise, if they all hit their ceilings, Florida's the best. That's a very easy take. If every team played the best they ever played, Florida wins the whole thing. That's just how it is.
Duke looks really fucking good,
man.
Bro, I mean,
but they've been playing the best basketball we've seen this tournament. Florida has not-ish. They've been playing it good at the end. They haven't even been playing their best basketball for the whole time, and they in the Final Four. So Auburn looks fantastic. Houston.
What if Conconoople goes fucking 25 for 25 from 3?
What if a bomb dropped on your head right now? What if that happened? What if? What if anything? Conkanuple goes 25 for 25?
Hypotheticals, man.
If he goes 25 for 25,
Well,
then
he's like, I'm imagining this Florida team that it's like the Monstars. They take all the good powers from everyone else. And it just
they have a guy who's 7'9" on their bench. And Targold's going to put him out on the floor and say, we're running a 1-3-1 zone. And they're going to have that guy down in the middle. And Johnny Broom is not going to know what to do. And they're going to cover the three-point land. They're just going to have him stand like this.
7'9" guys out for the season.
And
By the way.
can he play? Listen, put the foam on the boot. Put the foam on the boot. He can play ball. Put the foam on the boot. It's in the rule books. Play ball. Stand there.
What's your ranking? 1 through 4, 4 through 1.
Probably KU sucks. KU sucks. KU sucks. KU sucks.
No, because I actually am not freaking out every time somebody enters the transfer portal with Kansas, unlike you are. So it is what it is at
you
this
can't.
point.
No. You can't bring in off podcast things into the podcast.
You do it all the time. What are you talking about?
I didn't say
That's
one.
like you're saying.
I
was talking to the boys
I
off
didn't
the
say
pod.
want that.
I
And
was
first of all,
talking to the boys off the pod here.
and I was complaining about Flory, and I was on text, so you couldn't even describe how I was talking in real life. Second of all, Passamore, I wasn't even complaining about.
Words
I
in
was
your text message.
no.
Make me think differently.
Okay, maybe, but that's Floyd because he's a top 10. He was a top 10 recruit. So maybe I'm like, yeah, that kind of stinks. If a top 10 player leaves, it does. And you're sitting here like, oh hum ho hum hum hum. We're just gonna pick up some guy from Omaha. That'll really do it.
Yeah, have you not been watching Bill Self the past 2 seasons? This is what's going.
I have hope. I have hope. You have none. None. You wear that. You wear that name with nothing.
No, you're the one that complains about it every time that the guy comes into a transfer portal, and I still have hope because I think Bill's going to be able to fix it.
Okay.
You're complaining about Flory Badunga flying in, not like there's not somebody else out there that they could go and sign
Who?
for $15 million.
Who?
Who knows? Somebody.
If we pay anybody $50 million, I will gladly cheer for Iowa and Isaiah Howard next season. I will
Isaiah
gladly.
Howard's not even on the Iowa Hawkeyes.
We have rumblings. We have rumblings, and you better hear it, Isaiah. I know you're looking at him. You
No,
know
he's
it.
not.
You know it. Where's he gonna
He's
go?
got a do not.
What if he
he's
goes
got a
to
do
KU?
not contact on there. So
Okay, sorry. We don't know. We don't know. Sorry.
We don't know anything. Why would you say something? We don't know anything.
I will clip that part. I won't clip last episode's part with P4 saying
Kyle is
inappropriate words.
ESPN, just like
ESPN
ready to
insider
go
with
for
no
the
inside.
decision.
I'm Sharms instead of Shams.
Oh, I guess what? I think Kevin
According to
Durant's going to be
South.
going really good for the Suns today. My inside source, because I talk to Kevin Durant all the time. Shut up.
That's
Kyle.
what you were thinking in your head when you went to the Suns.
No, I thought it was great that they went Suns, and then they signed Bradley Beal, which is the issue. Anyways,
4 through 1.
I've got remaining Houston at 4.
Wow.
Auburn at 3, Florida 2, Duke at 1. Houston's really good, but I think they really need to shoot well. All these other 3 teams have shooters around them. Houston does have shooters, but they rely more on their defense. And I think Duke's too long. Florida, if they play really, really well and shoot the ball like they can, they'll beat Auburn. But Auburn's really deep. I think it'll probably come down to Auburn and Duke, and I really think it'll be a really great matchup between both teams. If I had to pick one to put money on, I'm probably putting money on Duke. But I don't know if Houston can shut down Duke. I don't know. I don't think they can. I don't think they're big enough. I just don't. They play really good defense. I don't think they're big enough.
No, that's the problem.
I don't know. I
They're
think
tall.
I think
Dude,
the only
hey,
issue that
and
Houston
physical.
has is if Duke just shoots really well. I think if Duke doesn't shoot
that's
out
I
of
think
control,
they're gonna at
it's
least
going to be a close game.
consistent.
25 for 25.
Like I think the
Book
Duke
it.
game, the Duke and
Whatever the prize
Houston
fix is on
game
that.
is going to be probably what, like a
You can
60
make so many people sad.
60 to something game. It's going to be close. I mean, I do agree with PC and his idea of going, listen, if Duke comes out and plays like the way they know how to play, then Houston has no chance. Really, they don't. Because like what offense has Houston seen this season that is like, wow.
I think Duke is just a like super safe pick, which I like.
They
I
lost
just
to
consistently see
Auburn,
them at
right?
2.
It was early in the
Like,
season.
They're a good team, but if a team is on their A game and like with the size that Houston has, if they are just on one, being physical, hustling down the court, that is a dangerous team that like it would be a tough team even for Duke to beat. I think like in a normal season, this is a really good Duke team, and they don't risk anything really that like could turn the tide really bad. They're really consistent, good defense.
I think the only thing that Houston has in their favor that they haven't had in past years is they're healthy. They're healthy. They have Cryer, they have their dudes, and that's probably the only reason why they're here.
They have to have LJ and Milos and Sharp all play really well to beat Duke. If you have one of those guys not playing well, but that hasn't happened all tournament where all three of them have been good. It's not happened all tournament.
They still look dominant.
I'm not saying they don't look dominant, but look, they've scored 75 points a game normally. Okay, that is 175th in the nation. You think they're going to be able to if Duke even plays remotely good on offense? I don't know.
That's
the same thing with Houston. Houston
but Houston hasn't proven that.
Houston plays their offense.
What?
They play really good defense and then win the game playing good defense. That doesn't mean their offense is good. It just means their defense is good and then win the game. There's a huge difference there.
I understand where PC's coming from, where it's like, listen, you can't just have really good defense and expect that to be the only way you win. But at the end of the day,
that's how Duke's won a lot of their games in the ACC, though, and that's not bad.
Whoa! ACC, that's
ACC, Big 12.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's how Duke has won games. So,
like this Houston team has figured out that listen, defense is their identity, but their offense isn't nothing. It's not nothing. They are really good at winning games. They had one loss in the Big 12 this season. One. How many losses did Duke have in the ACC this season? One. Okay.
At Clemson.
What conference is better?
Technically the Big 12.
Okay, so.
But that doesn't mean that Houston's the better team.
But they know how to win games is what I'm trying to say. And I think that putting them at 4 is a bit underrated, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like, this is where it's hard. It's like, well, Auburn could just go out and beat anybody they want to, and Florida could be losing by 20 with 5 minutes left, and all of a sudden they're winning by 5 points.
Yeah, well, just looking at, I just feel like I have more faith in an Auburn team with the bench and the veteran leadership there. And then Florida, their guards have proven to me over and over again that it doesn't matter how much they are down, that they can shoot their way to a victory. And I don't know if Houston can do that. If Houston gets behind, I don't think they can catch up.
Well, they did it. They did it with
neither
18
can
seconds
Florida
left.
If they can't hit their shots.
Florida can catch up though. They were down the entire Texas. They were down. Yeah, but they haven't proven
Houston is
that.
never completely out of it. They're never like completely out of it at all. Like they haven't been all year completely out. They're gonna bring war every time. And you just got to go and show up to the tournament. And I think that putting them at 4 is just kind of signifying that they're not going to show up compared to the rest of these. And I think that is like, I don't know. That's pretty bold.
Nick Howard.
I'd probably go with Florida, just because they've had instances where, like, if it wasn't for Clayton Jr. and they've had like some potential slip up, but Clayton Jr. is just that guy. Auburn is just really well balanced, where I think in like any of the last couple of years that they had this team, they'd give Hurley a run for his money, assuming that's who they would have to go through to get to the championship. They got really good squad, but then you got Duke, who I think is 2. I think they're going to play the same way they play, and I think Shire knows that. And if they get beat, they get beat. But they got good size, and they're going to go man-to-man, or they're going to do a screen. And it's not screen, zone, sorry. And if they do that and they're doing well, the other team's not making shots, and they're even making shots, they're going to win a game. I'd be shocked if they didn't win whoever they faced first. Winning 2 in a row, though, is going to be a tough gauntlet. And I think Houston in my opinion, and it's just one that all year they're never like completely out of it. Sure, they've had signs that like, oh, it could be shaky, but I think overall this Kelvin Sampson team has just been really, really good this year with just bench players even like playing like their lives depend on it. It's the same kind of UConn stuff where they were just flying around the court and being hustling players. It's not the big stars that you're going to know and like hear from, but like I said before, Mercy Miller making a huge block in the round of 32. They got good players just all around on this team, and I think Houston is definitely my one pick here.
Yeah, different takes from the dudes. That's totally fine. That's why it's a whole pod. End up waiting and seeing what happens on Saturday.
That's exactly why it's a good Final Four.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. Let's move off some basketball talk here. It's kind of done here. Let's move on to UFC Mexicano. We had some good fights there. P4 main event from way out west. How were these fights? What were your thought process as K-Stel leaves us yet again? Can we talk about this kid's contract? Like, actually talk about this kid's contract. Like, some of
This
his
is
takes
technically
he
him
has,
going to the bench. He's got to sit out
like,
sometimes,
Like,
he's got to
yeah,
rest up.
it's like we should like
He
call
can't
like
be
a
a
technical
player.
foul on
We're
him
just on a 10-day.
sometimes. Like,
We just need him to get a rebound.
He's kind of a
once
he's
in a
kind of
while,
a he's kind of
like an
a
assist.
a snake in the locker room a little bit here too. Like, he's kind of been a
He
little bit
throws
up
in
in
he throws in the
ants.
spice
Yeah.
when we need it.
Yeah, and like
and
this
just,
whole
like,
thing where he
the
like gets
microwave
off
badge on
topic all the
Tuesday.
time. Who knows? But yeah, well, I guess we can talk about off pod about K-Stel's future here at Dude Sports.
So UFC Mexico, we did have some pre-card goofiness with Kevin Gastelum and Joe Pfeiffer. Joe Pfeiffer ended up getting sick. He said it was because of the
Topography, elevation of Mexico.
He slept in a tent for a month and he still got sick, and he doesn't care.
Poor guy
He's
is
racist.
doomed for a Denver card.
Yeah, fuck that country, I think is what he said. So he goes, and I don't care. To the card, I know where you live, PC. He does. Mohamed Namaya.
Yeah, I already put a restraining
Silva.
order on that guy.
It was a quick knockout, first minute, 44 seconds. Tajikistan versus the Venezuelan. No little performance of the night for him, under a minute knockout. Hey, Dana, what more do you want me to do? Victor Olamitrino, he lost to Felipe Dos Santos, the Brazilian. He's kind of a wrestler guy. It was a unanimous split decision, sorry. Two favorites so far. We bring it to a third favorite. Ronaldo Rodriguez beats Denis Bonder, the Ukrainian fighter. It was a submission here. In the second
Interesting
round.
match. Yeah.
Yeah. Significant strikes by position. They were down there. Couple takedowns for Denise, but Ronaldo ended up getting the submission victory. Claudio Puelles, the Peruvian fighter, lost to the French fighter Faris Ziam. He got his win. Make it 2 in a row. He absolutely destroyed my guy, Matt Frivola, also a Mets fan. Edgar Chiriez beat Daniel Lacerda.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
He messed him up.
Edgar is kind of has that.
He's been on a couple of Noche cards. He's pretty underrated.
He's
in
got
my
that
opinion.
Bobby King hood fighting style. No, not King Green. Bobby King Green. He's changed his name to King Green now. But yeah, he kind of fights with like his hands low and he comes at you. Submission for him, but I mean the hands were flying in this fight. Let's see. Total strikes 9-7. Takedowns 1 of 1 for Lacerda, but it did not work out for him, as all 9 of Edgar's strikes were significant. So he was the heavy favorite. He ended up with the win. Jesus Aguilar also got a win, a split decision over Mateus Mencidia. Another good fight here. Whoops. I mean, it was pretty close. We don't get the ride time here. But takedowns went to the Brazilian, but the riding time, the ground time, went to Jesus. Christian Quinones, he ended up losing to Renato Barcelos, the Brazilian, the Mexican. What was the Mexican? 1, 2, 3. Start out 0-1. So they're 3-2 now. The Mexicans on the Mexican card. They said they're coming back in September too.
Guadalajara in a new arena.
That'll be fun. Surprise, surprise, they broke the gate record and attendance record at this arena, as Dana says every time they go to a place. Going ahead, Manuel Torres, performance of the night, submission real quick on Chris Duncan, the Scotsman. He's
Wait,
coming off a win.
am I tripping? Is this not the right card? This is not the right card, bro.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what? I was like,
Because I was like, I know, like, Chira's, he got, like, performance of the night, but Loco Torres did not fight. Whoever that was.
well done. We'll go to MMA.
I'm very glad I caught that.
Thank you. 'Cause I was
You
like,
were on
where
it, though.
is-
You
yeah,
reached
where is
out.
my guy? Yeah.
Because that lazy boy won.
I know.
I was
What
like,
the
hold
fuck?
on. Hold on.
All right. Marquel Medeiros beats Austin Hubbard split decision. Jamal Emmert's defeat Gabriel Miranda TKO. This was the good fight. That was the first round KO. Rafe Garcia defeats Vince Pichel unanimous decision. Lupi Godinez beats Juliana Postri.
That was... Wait,
Yes,
yeah.
the girl
that was
fight.
a fun one. That
Yes,
final
Lupi-
round?
Lupi
Dude,
is a
that
good
was-
fighter. She's going to be a good fight, a good prospect in this women's division. Women's bantamweight. Maquel Costa defeats Christian Rodriguez. Costa, who is at the UFC Seattle card. He's a great fighter, great wrestler, Brazilian. He's incredible. Atiba Gutierrez beats Jose Daniel Melenda. That was the flying knee. That was a good one. Ronaldo Rodriguez by unanimous decision. This was our guy. Lazy boy.
Yeah, I was about to say, I
And,
was like, he did not win. I was like, hold on a second. I do
He-
remember that fight, and it was
He
crazy.
did put on a show. He did put on a show today, last night.
The show is the way to call it.
Ah, man.
he got smoked and then just put himself up, and then he, like, still was taking contact. It's like, did you not learn from the first time you got absolutely mauled? He's got a chin. He's got a chin.
Yeah, and we kind of got into, I don't know if it would be a Kyle level argument. He's
I don't
been a
think it was
little
even an
chippy.
argument.
No, but we did get
But-
into a discussion about what damage means necessarily, because I've got a better chin than you, and you can punch me more times, but did that do more damage to me than it necessarily did to you? Because, like, Chris Moutinho, and this is a joke, but when he lost to Suga and just that absolute ass whooping, he said, yeah, but I probably did more damage to his hands than he did to my face, which, I mean, is a funny response, but there is some truth to that. If Moutinho can't protect himself for all 25 minutes, then let him. David Martinez defeats Salmio Oliveira by TKO. Another good first-round knockout. Raul Rosas. Raul, I mean, obviously he won this one by decision, but it wasn't... I think our Bo Nickel
It was a good first round, but it was a
drawbacks
safe fight.
is something
It
that
was
should
a
be
s-
applied to Raul Rosas. We talk about Bo Nickel on this podcast.
I
and
mean,
not the greatest
the
like,
age,
Raul
though.
Rosas,
He's 20 years old. And sure. But, I mean,
Bo
he's got
Nickel's
the
like,
world
what,
ahead of
23?
him.
I mean, we're talking about MMA here. We're not talking about NBA prospects.
But I'm
20 to
saying, like, if he's still doing this, then it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, applauding Rosas. Like, I mean, of course he's winning, which is cool, but it wasn't anything impressive, if that's what you're asking.
Mhm.
And, yeah,
Well,
no,
no,
I'm
no,
not.
I think they're both good fighters. I just think that if we're gonna say something
It wasn't a great
should
fight.
say
Yeah,
the
for
same
sure.
thing for
I agree. Yeah, I did not like this, just like I didn't like Craig versus Nickel, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
I do respect Rosas because he was 20 years old, and I did not disrespect Nickel. I just didn't like that fight.
And Rosas, I mean, great fighters. You gotta, yeah, Just win your fights. It would be exciting to see these guys win in more exciting ways.
Yeah, not safe.
Edgar Trias defeats CJ Varga by submission.
There we go.
Wins
There we go.
Once again, he's very good. It was a face crank.
He fooled
Can we
us
play
because
this?
he won before on a no, Jay.
Yeah,
That's how it goes to show how good.
Those Germans, water pressure. Kyle, go on a rant about it's on YouTube, so we can play it, right?
Yeah, because that's where the best sources come from. Man.
I mean, he just attacks that fucking
Yeah,
neck.
just like on top.
He
and he's
doesn't give a fuck.
relentless, too.
He doesn't give a fuck. He goes, "You might knock me out, but I'm going to knock you out first." And that's what I love in a fighter. Edgar Trias, and yeah, we did talk about that. How funny is it getting choked out by a guy and then getting hugged from behind by him?
Oh yeah. Good game. Good game.
I don't want to get into Kyle and other Nick's personal life, but Manuel Torres beats Drew Dober. That was the white guy. The Scottish fucked me up on the last card because I was like, I know Drew Dober was in this.
I was like,
Where's the
no,
white
I
guy
know.
from
I
this
remember
card?
that Torres fight. Yeah, that Torres fight did not end peacefully as that fight probably did.
No, and what did you say? You said I'm going to turn off this LSU Tigers baseball game because I got to see my guy Drew Dober fight. Dober's
Oh
such a
yeah,
flat
that's
man.
what I said. That's what I said. Because I care so much about Drew Dober.
Dober's a mess.
Loco
man.
Torres though.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
these Mexican fighters. There's a lot of good Mexican fighters coming up. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. Brandon Moreno defeats Steve Erceg. So let's look at the UFC rankings
Mm-hmm.
because in flyweight,
I'm interested. I want to see one guy's position on this actually. I
there
haven't
is no
watched it.
other answer than the Lego Man himself.
Cop.
Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno is the only option
Yeah.
for the belt. He's the one who has given Pantoja the hardest fight. And unless the UFC is going to do the thing with Demetrius Johnson where they pay him his $25 million to fight, I don't think anyone's going to go against Pantoja. Right now they have Kai Kara France lined up. I think Kai Kara France is a joke. He should be fighting Manuel Kopp. Kai Asakura, I mean, he kind of walked into a title fight. Who's the guy at Risen who just came across? This is new fight news.
Kyoji. It's like Kyogi, I believe.
Kyoji Hichari.
Yeah.
Is
Or
returning
Gucci.
to the UFC after more than 8 years after leaving the
I was
organization.
about to say, I thought he was coming back, if I was reading something. So, he's been there before.
UFC,
Huh.
he lost to Demetrius Johnson, but won all of his other UFC fights. Okay.
Yeah, he's not bad. I know that. That's how I kind of
Beat Kai Asakura,
Put the word
but
out
then
there.
lost to Kai Asakura, 2019-2020.
I've actually watched that fight on Risen. I mean, those dudes are good fight. Asakura is it's like just throwing a guy from a foreign league into the MLB World Series when it's a championship and being like, hey, do good. So these guys aren't bad, and I think that's kind of what Kyoji was. He was one of the guys I came across and was just not bad. He just had a loss to Mighty Mouse. And this guy, Asakura's case, Pantoja's just... There's a reason there's a gauntlet going for him right now. Someone
And
just
Moreno
trying
has won
to
it.
take-
In my humble opinion.
Sure. What if... I mean, do you think Pantoja maybe could move up?
Well, yeah,
If he
but
wins
not.
the next one?
But why would you? I don't think a weight cut has been an issue. I don't think that's been brought up. And I know weird stuff has happened with Ilya and stuff. But why would you? If you're winning, like why?
If
would
he
you?
beats Moreno. If he beats Moreno.
The UFC might try to make him or some way, but if I'm gonna be, it's the same reason why Islam and Islam drops the little nugget every once in a while. I'm gonna move up. I'm gonna move up. But why move up? We talk about this. Like
Sometimes you just need competition that you feel like you can beat, and it's just like they're throwing stuff at you, not really creating
Izzy
a rivalry
has
or
no
nothing.
problem staying at 85. Izzy lapped that division.
There's some fighters that don't, but there's a lot of fighters that do when they're champions. So I mean, like we just seen it with Ilya. Like you never know.
Yeah, but that's not too often. I mean, Connor's the guy who started that, and that wasn't even that long ago. And there hasn't been many in between. And you know what? Pantoja may be one of those guys. If you're looking at those guys and you're going, okay,
How dominant he's been. Like
yeah, it's been
you never
John
know.
Jones,
You know.
It's been Alex Pieta. It's been not DDP, but Izzy never went up. Izzy went up to fight Jan, but Jan kind of smoked him. DC, Daniel Cormier. Yeah, Pantoja, but 35's a gauntlet too. So what if Pantoja, and here's the other one, where is he? Davidson Figueiredo just came up from 25 to fight in 35, and he's incredible in 35, and he's still hanging around this 5 spot. So where does Pantoja fit in this? Above Marlon Vera, below Song
Maybe that's
Yadong?
just what he needs, though. Like he needs to be like tested. I don't know. It's what he wants. If he's just safe and comfortable with the belt, then keep him in flyweight. But if he's feeling a little more competition, I don't think it would be anything crazy to see with how dominant he's been. If he beats Moreno, especially.
I do really.
Because I think they're going to do it when they go back to Guadalajara. It could be a #1 contender fight, too, against Royval, which, I don't know.
Royval's signed to fight somebody. Or no, he was supposed to fight Moreno. Yeah, but you're going to make Moreno fight another.
He was supposed to fight Cop, too.
And Kai Kara is.
And that got canceled.
Cop is just he's sticking around. Urseg is sticking around, too. There's some other guys in 25.
He's getting the top of the division, and I think he doesn't need it.
Yeah, drain the swamp here. Drain the swamp.
Yeah. Like, give him, like I said, Tyra, that gave Royval a really good fight, but he's just not there yet. He's young. And I think that would be a good Urseg fight.
He's on a win streak.
Especially to see if Tyra is still kind of on his toes, you know.
I think that just about does it for UFC. We've got some good fights coming up, maybe. Let's look at upcoming fights.
Yeah,
Emmett versus Murphy at the Apex. Volkanovski. Let's see. Hill versus Roundtree. We'll see what happens with this. There's some rumors about it.
Yeah, the rumors aren't good.
But Volkanovski Lopez, that's coming up in a couple weeks, so we'll talk about that when the time comes.
Hopefully Derek Lewis joins that KC card. That'd be dope. So we'll move from the Octagon here to go over to MLB The Show, where K Stelt's going to give his weekly updates on his teams. K Stelt, take it away with the baseball.
Yeah, I won't start with my teams. We can jump into the other fellas. It was a good first week series, whatever you want to call it, opening day of baseball. Not a lot of, a ton of big stories out there. There's a couple. Big one being the Yankees and their bats, but it's legal, guys. It's fine. And I'll tell you more about that. Right now we're looking at, I'm just going to go over the divisions here. AL West, 0 teams below 500. Me and Nick were talking about this a little bit. It's gonna be a madhouse in the AL West. Athletics, they're good. Seattle, their offense is it's gonna be whatever. Athletics are gonna be so much fun to watch. Julio isn't gonna do a lot until the end of the season. We know that. All right, second half at least. LA, they're 2-1. Houston. Sorry, P4. Texas, wow, Texas 3-1, doing a lot of good stuff. AL Central, there's only one team that's above 500. It's the Cleveland Guardians. Chicago and Kansas City are 1-2. Detroit 0-3. They play the Dodgers. Can't really give them any heart. Heat. Minnesota. I told you guys about Minnesota, and I get it. It's only 3 games, but and I'm not trying to discredit the Cardinals here, but I'm just gonna tell you, Minnesota. They are the stinker. Boston 1-3, Toronto 2-2, Baltimore 2-2, Tampa Bay 2-1, Yankees 3-0. The Yankees don't want to give you guys any credit here, but there's only 2 teams in the MLB right now that have the 30 runs scored, and that is the Yankees and the Dodgers. Yankees put up I don't know how many home runs. They have weird bats. How did they get weird bats? I don't know. They hired an MIT professor to do studies, and they made a bat. And it's not because of what you guys are thinking. It's not because they have a small ballpark. It's not because they're cheating. It's not because the MLB kind of shifted rules and now they have torpedo bats. They made the bat because they want Anthony Volpe to get a home run. Isn't that unbelievable? Anthony Volpe, just for him?
Little brothers.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Anyways, we are now going to see torpedo bats go through a lot of teams that have smaller ballparks. I would be shocked to see.
Ryan Jeffers on the Twins was playing with it today against the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of guys that use the barrel of their bat. Like Hunter Renfroe would probably be a guy. I'd be shocked to see a guy like a Bobby Witt Jr. or Michael Garcia, just from my standpoint, use bats like that because they use the entirety of the bat for their hit tool.
Not everyone can use those.
It's been around for the stylish has been around for a while. The Yankees just perfected it, so we'll see. Maybe that comes in to tell teams to have a regulation for stadium distances, which I have, in my opinion. I have a lot of crazy rules that I want to go over. Let's see what's going on in the NL. Miami walked off 3 times. Pirates, Pirates defense. Philadelphia 2-1. New York Mets 1-2. Washington Nationals 1-2. Atlanta Braves are 0-4. Unbelievable. St. Louis Cardinals 3-0. Cincinnati Reds are 1-2. Chicago Cubs are 2-4. Pittsburgh Pirates 1-3. Milwaukee's 0-3. They face the Yankees. Can't blame them. LA is 5-0. Padres are 4-0. San Francisco's 2-1. Arizona's 2-2, and the Rockies are 1-2. So a couple offers. Other than that, yeah, Yankees have this torpedo bat thing going on. I don't think it's much of an issue. It was a bit silly. I was like, why is it? And then I started thinking about it. It was funny that the Yankees were the only team that perfected it because they have just the money to pay an MIT professor just to come in and study the stuff that you don't realize needs to be studied in baseball. They have so much stuff. They have so much employees on their roster doing stuff that you guys don't know about. It's ridiculous. Roshi Sasaki signed with a big market team and is crying after giving up some runs. Wonder why that's the case, and now he's crying. Unbelievable. Nothing really crazy. P4, what about the Mets? How about the Mets? They're good. They're fine.
We're not mad about it.
No.
The pitching staff is going to be interesting. They just got to find their groove, but we look good.
It's not a bad thing.
The pens look good. The starters look good. The bats look good. Soto worth every penny.
I agree. Listen, coming out of the opening weekend 1-2 is not bad at all. Coming out 0-3, I don't know about that one. That's 3 games you're back. Instead of being a 1 game back.
Only 149 left to go.
And listen, it doesn't tell the whole story, but it does put in perspectives that you don't want to see. Nick, listen, I know you weren't really high about your Cardinals this season, but Victor Scott, the second, not even junior.
Nolan Arenado.
Victor Scott the second, 2.
So,
he's going to be in the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame. Just so you know.
He might just continue it. We might have just woken up the complete beast that we were just waiting for all along. Who knows? Brant Brown, hitting coach for the Mariners that got fired last year with the Mariners offense, and he has changed some of these guys' swings so much. Like Jordan Walker looks so good. Victor Scott's hitting home runs after batting below 100 at one point last season. And Gorman's hitting homers, and we're putting up runs. We put up runs in this past game, and Joe Ryan's a good pitcher, but Lars Nootbaar, if he stays healthy, man, I know I've been kind of doubtful because of his health, but if he is if he's on the field at least 150 games this year, he's going to have such a good season, and it's a good lineup. I think that there's some issues that we can look at, like Contreras really doing bad and Wynn not getting any hits. But other than that,
He'll get there.
He'll get there, yeah. I think a guy like Wynn, I'm not too concerned, but there's a couple other things. Overall, though, pitchers did decent. I mean, Palante did what Palante does, gets ground outs, and then Fetty, I'm pretty shocked, pretty much outdueled Joe Ryan, and then opening day starter Sonny Gray wasn't bad. I mean, yes, the Twins bats, we can go all into that, but
But we're not going to go.
I like what I saw.
We're not going to go
like
into
what
the
I
Twins. It does
I like
help.
what I saw.
It does help coming from a team that has possibly the worst batter's eye in Major League Baseball in the Seattle Mariners. It's awful. It's awful. Royals, I don't really have a ton. The only thing that I will say is that MJ Melendez will not be on my baseball team come May 15th. Jack Caglione better be up. Or someone. It just doesn't look like MJ Melendez is going to do it. It sucks. They are humans, I understand. But if you can't hit, it's not going to work. And what's weird about this Royals team that I always have, issues with is that they do this like 2-week, 3-week, 4-week thing where they go, listen, Chris Stratton, here you go. Chris Stratton is not going to be on our baseball team. He's just not. Sam Long, you guys have no idea who that is. He's not going to be on our baseball team. It is a struggle because we are, like the first month of baseball, the Royals are going to go, listen, it's India, it's Bobby Witt, it's Vinny, it's Salvi, and that's it. Maybe Garcia, maybe Renfroe, maybe Kyle Isbell. We'll see. Maybe Massey. This is a team that has expectations. I'd like for them to make decisions like they have expectations. And they're kind of making decisions like we're going to see what MJ Melendez does. I don't want any decisions with MJ Melendez. I don't care. His swing is so bad that he had to rechange his swing, and he can't do it. So other than that, other thing I wanted to bring up, and maybe this gets Nick Howard a little upset, and I don't really care. I have a rule change I'd like to put in place. I think if you're a Major League Baseball pitcher, you pitch in the major leagues, the best freaking league for baseball. If you are a pitcher and you throw a ball and you hit a player that results in that player having to leave the game for injury, I believe you have to be removed from the game as well. It is ridiculous that we are having players try out new pitches and hitting guys in the head at 99 miles per hour. It's ridiculous. These are the best freaking pitchers on the planet. They are. And I understand there's listen, listen, it's not on purpose. I know it's not on purpose, guys, but you are a top 3 Cy Young vote last year. And you just hit a guy in the ear at 99 miles per hour trying out a 4-seam fastball. That is for spring training. You should be removed from the game. I just don't have that. I don't have that patience anymore. We are giving pitchers a little bit too much leeway of, I want to throw into a batter because if I throw in, he can't hit it hard. Dude, you should be good enough to put it right on that corner. Right on that corner. Not hit him in the head. My pitches, if I throw it, they sail because I'm not good at baseball. Pitchers in high A and low A, that's what they do because they're not good yet. Emmanuel Clase is a really, really good pitcher. And if you hit a guy in the head and he has to leave the game, I believe you should have to leave the game too because you are good enough as a pitcher to stay away from hitting a guy in the head. And I think if you put in the precedent of, listen, if you hit a guy and he has to leave the game because he's injured, then you have to leave the game too. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Like, what if the Yankees got hit, and it was like freaking Oswaldo Cabrera, he gets hit, and now Blake Snell has to leave the game. Listen, and this is going to be the stupidest thing I've ever said, is I think the baseball gods will punish that person, whoever is trying to bush league. I just think that's going to happen. Oh, look, Oswaldo, he got hit, he's thrown out. I just don't think that flies. I don't think that flies. Personally, in my opinion, I think pitchers are good enough to not hit players that hard to result in them leaving the game. it's kind of getting disgusting, in my opinion, because they're good enough. They are good enough. And they kind of, if they go, listen, I was trying to go in, I was trying to go inside, and I ended up hitting the guy in the head at 99 miles per hour. I don't think you guys quite understand. If I got hit in the back at 80 miles per hour, I would probably be out for 2 weeks. These guys are getting hit.
I mean, shit just happens, though.
I know
this is such
shit
a ref
just.
take.
I know,
this
but
is
shit,
such a ref take.
And it happens. These guys pitch for a living. Their job is
it goes
to
out of the zone every once in a while, like 0-2, and it just goes out and hits them and hurts them. They have to leave.
It's a precedent. It's a precedent. Stop throwing. If you want to throw,
this is why the Royals will never win anything.
Whoa, the Royals,
because
P4
is. I mean, not P4.
The Royals. This has happened. This has happened to every team. This is happening to every team out there.
Sure, but this is just a Class A thing, and you're just having a rant and all this, and about
this
2
is,
weeks from now,
I've had
this
this
rule
is
even
no,
is a thing.
This no,
and it's not gonna happen,
this has been a thing
and you're
that
gonna
I've
just
been
be
wondering.
putting this in an episode.
And once it does happen,
It's
once
ridiculous.
they come out, once
just-
the Yankees get hit in the head with a pitch at 99 miles per hour, and they complain to the league about, guys, listen, they're throwing it inside, they're trying to miss, it's going to happen, and the Yankees will change it, not us. It will not be the Royals because no one cares.
With the Dodgers.
It's gonna happen.
That part is
it's
true.
Gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen. I promise you, it will happen because we cannot have guys getting hit in the head at 99
I'm
miles per
gonna
hour.
do the Joe Kelly just like they did when they hit the Dodgers or the Astros. Oh.
Where's Joe Kelly playing? Not in the league because he sucks.
He still got money and paid.
And
fact,
of course, if I wag my tail and chew the bone for the Dodgers, I get paid. Anything. Listen, I told you that this would make Nick Howard mad, and I think it is a fair question to ask because pitchers are way too good.
I have given you reason, and you are the one that's
the reason was the Royals won't win anything. The world does shit just happens. You know what? That is right. Shit just happens. You know what? Noah Syndergaard thought shit happens. Noah Syndergaard thought shit happens.
Our ass is in the jackpot.
Noah Syndergaard thought shit happens, and it didn't. I'm just saying, I have such an iceberg of rule changes that I haven't brought up to Nick Howard. And if I said one of those bottom of the iceberg things to Nick Howard,
to a guy trying to split up a double play, you should be thrown out of the game. And allowed to be hit in the
Might as well put the golden bat.
Welcome back to the.
Whoa! I never said one thing about the golden bat rule. That was one of my greatest rage baits of all time in history of anything I've ever done. Is the golden bat rule, and you guys fell for it harder than anything I've ever seen.
I didn't fall for it because I don't care about baseball.
Kyle, because you say stuff like this.
Whoa! What? Oh, okay, so a really good pitcher is not allowed to throw inside because he accidentally throws the ball at somebody's head. Accidentally throws the ball at somebody's head. These guys are in the best league on the planet. The best league on the planet.
Possible on a sports podcast.
This is not Karen. This is not at all. I don't want my players getting hurt because Emmanuel Clase wants to throw a four-seam.
My players are the ones that matter. My players.
My
players.
Booby Whit Merrifield.
Great insights there. What do you got? You got anything to wrap up your rant, your 30-minute rant? Or
no,
are you not done with your MLB?
I had nothing really to talk about.
Nothing
baseball.
really going on.
I had really nothing to talk about baseball. Listen, it was either rant about the bats or it was make up some crazy Royals bull crap. And I did it. I thought I did a good job with the rule I had. And I thought that got people excited about that. So
it's an interesting idea, something you definitely can consider.
It's never going to happen ever because, like Nick said, it's never going to happen because accidents happen.
They get out, maybe
accidents happen. I accidentally killed somebody when I was driving my car.
Umpire can throw out anyone for any reason at any time. So Kyle, you're just like adding
I could throw out anybody because a bomb dropped on their head. How about that?
Oh my God.
I could.
Right. Let's get.
Someone's marrying you.
Let's get to our final favorite time of the day. favorite, difference that we're doing here specifically. I've got our current scoreboard coming up right now. We've got K-Stel actually in the lead with 3 points. P4 has 2, and Nick Howard has 1. I'm pretty sure.
What's my WNBA game?
We should actually figure that out. When does that season start?
It starts right now.
Like June to summertime or something.
We'll have to definitely figure it out.
They gotta
K-Stel.
go.
Oh, by the way, the Blazing Wing Challenge is back on the wheel since nobody completed it. So, just letting you
Kyle's
know.
not gonna do. I'm not gonna do it.
Are you okay?
I will vote right now.
Kyle
I will
did-
vote right now to take that off the list. That one was.
It's not even that bad. You're just being a baby.
No, it was that bad. My stomach was like, dude. The next morning when I went to the bathroom, you don't understand. I almost had to call out of work.
Let's just stop your sentence
let's just
there.
keep it on there and hope PC gets it.
No. I mean, I'll do it because I do all the challenges. I don't really care, but it'd be funny to see one of you two do it again. So that's why I kind of kept it on there. I don't know. It's not on there right now. I don't think we can add it. We cannot add it. Whatever. Let's get to these questions here. Okay. Question number 1. All right, the Masters is coming up here. Okay, one of the greatest golfers ever is Tiger Woods. How many Masters tournaments has Tiger Woods won? How many Masters tournaments has Tiger Woods won? 15 seconds. 10 seconds.
I'm feeling really good about this one.
I think I am too.
I'll let you know.
All right, show me your boards. What do we got? 3, 5, and 2. The person who doesn't really know golf got the question right. He has won 5 Masters.
5 Masters?
I know less than
Idiots,
P4.
You felt
I
so
know less
low.
than
You
P4.
felt so good about it.
He's
though.
won
You felt
5
so good.
Masters. That's
5
crazy.
Masters tournament. Yeah, let me double check my stat here, but I'm pretty sure.
I should have just.
One
Yeah,
of the
please-
few golfers
please
to
double
cheat
check
on his wife more than Masters wins.
He won in 97, 01, 02, 2005, and then 2019. So he had 5.
Wow.
P4 got the right answer. Good on him. Question number 2. We were just looking at the UFC rankings. Were you guys paying attention? Who is the number 4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Who is the number 4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Were you paying attention? Who is the number 4 pound-for-pound fighter in the world?
Men's.
Men's.
Honestly, I think this is a bad answer because I know Dana White, but honestly, this should be the right answer. Should be.
All right, show me your boards. Jones, DDP, and Pantoja. You're all incorrect. It is Mirab is the number 4 pound-for-pound fighter. I knew that was gonna.
PC. Is John Jones number
so
2?
What, DDP's number 3?
Yeah, I think so. I
John
think
Jones
that's
is
the
still
correct.
number
I know
2?
Mirab's number 4.
That's so ridiculous.
Hold on. Let me look at the pound-for-pound here. I had it up. here
John
just a
Jones
second.
can be number 2 is so
UFC
silly.
pound-for-pound rankings.
Never lost.
It is.
Hey, John.
Islam is 1, John Jones is 2, Ilya is 3, Mirab's 4, DDP is 5.
Ilya doesn't even have a belt.
I know, he's 3. So, alright, that's alright. Question number 3. Pull my questions back up. So a little bit of baseball here. When was the first World Series ever? What year was the first World Series ever? Closest to the pin wins. I'll even give out a free point here. Because I like scoring points here. You got 10 seconds. Closest to the pin wins. Alright. Show me your boards. What do we got? 1889, 1879, 1896. Nick Howard is the closest. It was 1903 was the first World Series
That's crazy.
ever.
Yeah, is that
Question number 4.
National League?
What pitcher has the most wins in MLB history? What pitcher has the most MLB wins in history?
Stat.
Who has the most wins?
This is gonna be some tungsten Armo Doyle bullshit.
No,
Some
you
guy-
know, you're gonna hear the name. You're gonna go, oh, okay.
I think
You got 10 seconds.
I think I spelled his name wrong. This is such a wild take.
All right, show me your boards.
Oh no, I know it! Dang it! I put the wrong name.
Clements, who's Nolan Ryan, and Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
It is not Nolan Ryan.
Oh,
It
really?
is Cy Young has 18 as the most wins ever in history. I can look at the specific number.
Wait,
But-
was that in a single season or in a career?
I knew it.
Wait, hold on. PC. If
It wouldn't even shock me
if
was
it's the
career.
It's career. He has 511 wins. Walter Johnson's in second with 417, and then Pete Alexander is in third with 373.
which you've guessed Pete
Three,
Alexander.
bro.
If I put Pete Alexander and you guys need to check me into a mental hospital.
We're
All right.
working on it.
Hey, this has been a hard week. Next week I'll definitely go a little bit easier questions. But the fifth question, as always, I did watch a movie the other week.
No.
What movie did Joaquin Phoenix receive his first Oscar nomination? This is the movie that I watched. Okay, and then if we can't get it, I'll give you a double down. No, nomination, not win, Oscar nomination. What movie was his first Oscar nomination? If nobody gets it right, I'll give you the hint of who he played as. If they get it right, I'll give you a point. But if somebody gets it right for one, because I want to get some points given out here. All right, 5 seconds left. Alrighty, show me your board. Walk the Line, Gladiator, and what's that one? P4.
Joker.
Joker. Howard is correct. The first nomination
Actually,
was
the line.
Gladiator.
Gladiator, whatever.
Gladiator was his first nomination win.
That Joaquin Phoenix movie.
At the end of week 2, K-Stel still only has 3 points. Howard now moves up to 3 points as well. And look at that. We have a 3-way tie going into week 3 at 3 apiece. Next week will definitely be more of a, you guys will be able to get some more points, and then of course we'll have the finale, so still a lot of time left. Hopefully you don't end up losing. But yeah, it looks like that's going to be kind of the end here. Let's do our last little whip around here. Let's start off with the Liverpool fan. Howard, sir, what are your final words to the people?
Final people.
Well, I didn't really cover too much, but at least my teams besides Cardinals. But I guess in terms of Liverpool, I can kind of mix it in with them giving up Trent Alexander-Arnold after crashing out in the Champions League. That is what is going to be coming up, though, on the 8th of April. So that will be interesting. We got a duel between PC and Kyle's squads coming up. Real Madrid is still in it for P4. My team crashed and burned. Like I said, I'll get to that more in the future. But it's, my sports teams, it's kind of all over the place right now. LSU just crashed and burned today on their side for a national championship. So now we got to wait till baseball, which is not looking insane. They don't look bad, though. So maybe LSU will get to national championship in baseball. Little smile on my face before the football season is going to bring it to probably complete sadness again behind the hands of Brian Kelly. Other than that, enjoy the weather outside. Hopefully it's kind of been warmer for everybody else like it has where I'm at, Get
It's
outside,
about to get
touch some
really
grass.
cold.
It's
It's about to be
springtime.
really cold for you. It's coming.
Yeah, that's a Midwest podcast for you over here.
coming
at least.
to
I
ya.
don't know about P4 side, but it's that's how it
58
goes
and
in
sunny
Missouri
today,
at
I
least.
believe.
We'll take it. That's not a
here.
bad day. It was pretty windy today, but I guess it's going to storm tomorrow. So, yeah, thanks for that sad news, Kyle, about St. Louis. But other than that, enjoy your sports and end of basketball coming up soon.
K-Stel, what you got for the people?
I kind of went over all my goofiness that I needed to get out. Fire Peter Vermees. Fire Peter Vermees! Vermees. We will never, ever, 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 ever talk about MLS on this show once. But I will say it right now. Fire Peter Vermees. Please. Please. Fire him. Gone. I don't care about tenures. I don't care about accolades. I don't care. Fire him right now. Fire Peter Vermees. MJ, figure it out or you're gone. And Bill Self, I don't know. Just get a lot of good players. That's all I want. Dicks, I don't care. Shoot the ball, Dicks. In the mouth.
Okay, great ending to the segment there, as always, from K-Style. Main man from way out west, what are your final words to the people?
Like, donate, subscribe. Dudes in Sports, we're on X. I found out Kyle's burner. That was fun.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I found it. He liked one of my tweets. And
It took him so long.
This was the first time I saw a fucking thing from this guy, and I clicked on the account, and I scrolled through, and I go, there's absolutely no way this is Kyle. I sent it to him. He denied.
No, I did not denied.
You did. 100%.
I denied once.
And yeah, so this is a good podcast. Tell your friends about it. It is a good time. I for one will stand on the desk for Kyle. I think Kyle adds an incredible entertainment factor to this podcast.
I do have a great, like, one of the talents I figured out is and I don't try to rage bait
He didn't
often.
even go to a thank you.
I didn't even, hold on.
Did you
See
see that was a test.
Hold
Kyle.
on.
That was a test.
And, what, and I told P4 thank you so many times. Gracious.
So he never has
This
to
has
do
never
it
been
again.
recorded.
He never has to do it.
Let's just
I
clip
said
that
thank
with
you
no-
to you
no
that
context.
One time.
Out of all the times I've stuck up for your team, I've never heard one thank
I
you.
pledge allegiance to the flag. Capture the flag. Go Duke. Go Blue Devils. Go Mets. Go Justin Fields? ? Go Jackson Dart with the 7th pick. We'll get more into that later. And yeah, like, subscribe. Show this to your buddies. Show this to your friends. You can click that share button. Copy link. Put that in the group chat. Say, hey, look at these idiots talk for a little bit. And yeah, it's a good time. And goodbye, folks.
Yep, as main man from way out west said, like, subscribe. Check us out, obviously, every Sunday from 7:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Central time.